In the hush before time, when silence held the stars unborn, something ancient stirred. Long ago, before the stars blinked into life, there was only one. Not a god, not a name, just a presence endless, dreaming. And from that dream came fire, not the fire that burns, but the first flamer, sacred breath of will, memory, and meaning. From its spark rose beings of immense power and purpose, 12 primordials, each carved from a single truth. They were not born. They were remembered into being. They shaped the Primaverse, 12 universes bound by the flow. Each realm a unique song in the grand symphony of existence. The primordials vowed not to rule, but to preserve its rhythm, to be its caretakers, its unseen hands guiding the tides of time. Yet even the brightest flame casts a shadow. In the forgotten folds of existence, a whisper stirred, a hunger with no shape, a darkness without name. Only the echo of its dread purpose remained to consume, to corrupt, to devour, a name not meant to be spoken. Nylox. Now the seals grow weak, the flow stirs with unrest, and across the realms, forgotten bloodlines awaken, not by prophecy, but by consequence. The threads of fate weaving a tapestry of war, of love, of loss. For this is not the beginning of a story. This is the remembering of a truth far older. When the first memories stirred, when the first stories were told, long before the dawn of time, there existed echoes of a truth so profound it defied comprehension, a knowledge so vast it bordered on madness. And now, as the shadows lengthen and the veil between realms grows thin, these echoes resound. Myth, memory, and destiny converge. This is Echoes of Eternity. Before time began its endless song, before the stars spun their silver thread, before the universe unfolded, there was nothing. There was no God, no name, just a presence. Endless, dreaming, a vast, inscrutable abyss of pure potentiality. Then from the heart of that dreaming, a spark ignited, the first flame. It was not the fire that burns, but the sacred breath of will, memory, and meaning. From its eternal spark, beings of immense power and purpose rose, the firstborn, the 12 prime. Each was carved from a single truth and brought into being by the first flame. They were not born. They were remembered into being. The primordials wove the Primaverse, 12 universes bound together by the flow. A river of infinite potential that flowed between the realms. They shaped the very essence of existence, gave birth to galaxies, and sang the stars into life. But they did not rule over their creations. They had no desire for crowns or thrones. They merely watched over the flow, preserving its rhythm, ensuring the music of the spheres would play out its endless harmonies. For a time, there was peace. The primordials tended to their flame, keeping it ever burning bright. But even the brightest flame casts a shadow, and in the forgotten folds of the Primaverse, a whisper stirred, a hunger with no shape, a void with no name. It was Nylox, the devourer of worlds, a being of pure anti-creation, a negation of all that was, could be, or ever would be. At the dawn of time, the primordials had banished this nameless terror to the furthest reaches of but now the seals that bound Nylox's prison grow weak, and the flow stirs with unrest. Across the realms, forgotten bloodlines awaken, heiresses and heirs of the primordial, champions who will carry the torch of the first flame against the encroaching darkness. They are hunters and scholars, warriors and seers, each marked by a unique power and an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. For this is not the beginning of a story. This is the remembering of a truth far older than any story. Myths are but stories dreamed into being by mortals. Memories are echoes of truths the mind struggles to hold. Destiny is a tapestry woven by powers beyond our ken. But here, where myth, memory, and destiny converge, there is only the eternal now. Here, the past is prologue, and the future is yet to be written. Here, the only law is change. Here, in the crucible of infinite becoming, the echoes of eternity reverberate.